Hello everyone, I am Saurabh Pandey and today we will be discussing topics related to semiconductor physics of class 12th. The students who are interested in going for competitive exams like JEE Mains and Advanced should also watch the video completely and understand the topic as much as possible. Okay. Those students who are also in electronics department in BTech, they can also learn a few things in this lecture. Also, before starting the lecture, I would like to tell that there will be at least 5 to 6 videos in the playlist that I will be creating. From there on, you can understand the entire topic. I will be going slowly at the start, some basic differences I will be telling, and then we will be going in depth. And if required, we will also discuss some questions if you ask for. Fine. So what is, okay, so my question is, how you can define materials on the basis of their electrical properties. How many type of materials are there? There are 3 type of materials. What are they? They are metal, conductor, insulator, and the third one is semiconductor. Fine. So these are 3 type of materials electrically. There are 3 different type of materials which are present electrically in our surrounding. What is a conductor? What is a conductor? So when a material conducts electricity, since we are talking about electrical properties, when the material conducts electricity, it is a conductor. Conducts electricity. Fine. Insulator, if the material does not conduct electricity in any provided condition, whatever the condition is, whatever the potential difference you apply, it will not allow the flow of current, then it is insulator. Doesn't allow flow of current, then it is insulator. And what is semiconductor? Semiconductor is such a material which acts as conductor in certain condition and which acts as insulator in certain conditions. Fine. So it is conditionally conductor and conditionally insulator. It behaves as conductor when potential difference across it is high. It behaves as insulator when potential difference across it is low. Example, metal is a conductor. So I am taking a metal rod. Fine. Will there be any flow of current? This is open circuit. There can't be flow of current. Fine. But if we provide a potential difference, even a very small potential difference, flow of current will be possible in it. So it is a conductor. Okay. Metal rod is a conductor. What about an wooden rod? Will there be any flow of current irrespective of whatever potential difference you are creating? Irrespective of whatever voltage you are placing across the wooden rod? No, there won't be flow of current, and hence it is an insulator. What about a semiconductor? A silicon, a germanium wafer is there. So wafer is something which can be, in general terms, it is material. So silicon material is there, germanium material is there. So if we provide certain voltage to them, flow of current is possible. If we are providing lesser potential difference, then there is no flow of electrons and hence no current flows. Fine. So what is the reason for that? Do you want to know the reason? I will discuss the reason. For understanding the reason for flow of electrons or flow of current, we will be discussing energy band diagram. What is energy band diagram? Energy band diagram is a diagram where we will be talking about different energy levels that are present in an atom or a material. Okay, so before that, have you heard of Bohr's model? Bohr's model. So Dr. Bohr had said that in an atom, suppose this is an atom, all the electrons revolve around, this is nucleus of the atom, all the electrons revolve around fixed orbit. Electrons. So this electron will be revolving around this nucleus in this orbit only. Similarly, this electron will be revolving around the nucleus of this atom. This is the atom. And this electron is revolving around this nucleus, okay, in the fixed orbit. But is it mandatory to happen all the time? No. It happens only when the atom is in isolation. That is, there is no another atom present nearby this atom. Okay. But in practical world, the material is there, millions and billions electrons are present there. Therefore, the isolation is not practical. So that is why we will be not talking about Bohr's model now. We will be talking about the energy band diagram. In band, we will be talking about millions and billions electrons together and not one electron. Fine. So what are the parts of energy band diagram? There are a lot of bands in it. In energy band diagram, there are a few bands. That is, the electron will stay in that band only. If something is changed, or with time, it may change from one band to another band. So what are those bands? One is valence band. What is the second band? The second band is conduction band. Another terminology used in energy band diagram is Fermi level. Another is forbidden band gap. These are at least 4 terminologies which we should be aware of when we are talking about energy band diagram. Fine. What is valence band? Valence band is a band in which all the electrons of the material stays below 0 Kelvin temperature. So if the temperature is less than or equal to 0 Kelvin, all the electrons of any material will be present in the valence band. Okay. What is conduction band? Conduction band is the band in which the electrons move from valence band to conduction band. It is higher than the valence band. When we are talking about in the terms of electron volt, it stays higher than the valence band. Then Fermi level. What is Fermi level? Highest filled electron present in the valence band. Okay. And what is forbidden gap? Forbidden gap is the energy difference between the electrons between the conduction band and the valence band. So we will be drawing the energy band diagram. I hope you understood Fermi level, conduction band, valence band, and forbidden gap. So here is the energy band diagram. Here is energy. This is valence band. I am writing VV for valence band. This is conduction band. That is CB. This is forbidden energy gap. EG. EG is the forbidden energy gap. Fine. So at 0 Kelvin, all the electrons stay in the valence band. As the temperature is increased, when temperature increases, these electrons gain some energy and move to higher energy state. That is the conduction band. A few electrons move to higher energy gap, and then there is creation of hole. since this electron has moved up, there is nothing but a void. That void is called a hole. Absence of an electron is a hole. So this hole has been created because the electron which was present here has already moved upward. Similarly, this electron gained some energy and moved upward. So another void has been formed. And this is a hole. This is another hole. So did you understand how the hole is created? A hole is a virtual. A hole is not the practical thing. It does not exist. But theoretically, it is present to understand the concept easily. That is why we have used the term hole, but it is not present in the real life. Hole is absence of electron. That's it. So absence of something does not imply the other thing is present. But to make the things easy to understand, we have coined another terminology, that is hole. Fine. So absence of electron is a hole. So I hope you understood how hole has been created. Now, at the start of the topic, I had said that I will explain how the flow of electron is possible in metal but not possible in insulator. See, in this graph only I would be explaining. So energy band diagram of a metal. Energy band of metal. So what happens is that the conduction band and the valence band overlap each other. This is now the conduction band and this is the valence band. The valence band is in this direction, the conduction band is in this direction, and there is overlap. Can you see the overlap? This is the valence band and this is the conduction band, and there is an overlap here. So there is no need of external energy for transfer of the electrons from conduction band, from valence band to conduction band. Is there any energy gap required for flow of electrons from here to here? No, there is no such requirement. That is why the electron can easily flow from valence band to conduction band, and hence there is flow of electron, and hence there is flow of current. But but when we talk about insulator, the band gap, the energy band diagram changes. What happens there is energy band diagram of insulator. Here, this is valence band, and this is conduction band, and the forbidden energy gap is more than 5.5 electron volt. When the forbidden energy gap is more than 5.5 electron volt, the electrons present here, cannot move from valence band to conduction band, irrespective of whatever potential you create, whatever potential you provide to them, or whatever potential difference you create between the metal, fine, between the substance. So the energy band diagram, in the energy band diagram, we can see there is high difference. In the conduction band and valence band. So the main difference between metal and insulator is that the energy band diagram or the forbidden gap is higher in same insulator and lesser in, or in fact zero in metal. Fine. Now therefore no electrons can move from valence band to conduction band, and since there is no flow of electron between the energy band gaps, no current will flow. That is the reason for no flow of electrons and no flow of current in the insulator. Now we talk about semiconductor. Same energy gap. This is valence band, this is conduction band, this is valence band. The energy band gap, that is the forbidden energy forbidden energy is lesser than 4.7 electron volt. 4.7 electron volt. Therefore, the electrons present here can move to the conduction band when certain potential difference is created or certain potential is provided to those electrons. Fine. Electrons can move to conduction band, and hence the electrons will be present in the conduction band as well. Now, and then here holes will be present because these electrons have moved upward, so holes have been created. Fine. So, because of presence of electrons in the conduction band, there is flow of current in insulator. But when it happens, only when a potential difference is created, a potential difference is provided to the electrons in the valence band. So, semiconductor acts or behaves as conductor, and it behaves as insulator as well, provided we provide the potential difference. I hope you have understood why there is flow of current in metal, insulator, and the third one is semiconductor. So in the next video we will be discussing a few more topics, and then I hope you will be enjoying them as well. Okay, fine.